Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and this is the June paper pumpkin kit. This is the example of the 3 designs that I put together from this kit. I love these paper pumpkin kits. They give you so many beautiful designs to work with, and they're easy to do, and I just really enjoy putting them together. This kit in particular took me an hour and 10 minutes to put 9 cards together. So just for your information, that's how long it took me. Now the video doesn't take that long because I speeded it up. But if you're interested in getting a subscription for the Paper Pumpkin, you can go to stampin'up.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. And you can go to Find a Demonstrator and put in Dorothy Smith. And that would be me, and I would highly appreciate it. So anyway, I will show you exactly how to put these together, and you will learn some things that I found out later at the end of things I should have done. So you get to benefit from what I do here. So thank you so much for watching. Bye now. Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am trying to get caught up. So this is the June paper pumpkin card kit, and here is the stamp, and we've got a Pretty Peacock is the ink spot that comes with this. Just go ahead and put a little cut so I can open it up. But I like to leave the other side together so it just sits there and I don't lose the top. Okay, so we have all of our pieces nicely held together. They don't get jostled around in the shipping. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We have gold flat sequins, which are good for mailing. It's when you have 3-dimensional embellishments, you know, like the little hard enamel dots and stuff, they can kind of get torn up in going through the post office. So we've got little dots, double stick dots, and the gold sequins, and then we've got some double stick 1/4-inch tape. We've got some geometric designed envelopes that are all the same. And then we've got more gold, which I love. That was the April stamp. Card kit had a lot of gold. And on the other side of our cardboard, we have our stamp that tells us what we have here, what our stamps are. So we have a nice leaf, some nice leaves, a thank you, let's celebrate you, happy birthday to a wonderful friend and miss you. And so these are all, so I will put these in a, actually, you know, a thing like this. I'll cut it down a little bit, but that would work out perfectly to hold your stamp set. So let me go ahead and take this out. Set it over here. They come with your instructions. Here are your instructions. Here are the 3 card suggestions, how to put them together, and this shows you all the pieces that come in the kit, and this gives you a some coordinating pieces that you can get online to go with this stamp set if you want to create your own stamps using, like, for instance, if you were so inclined to, let's just look at the 3. So here's the one design. So if you want to cut off the back and make a whole other card, then you can use these stamps or use some of these pieces that are suggested to go with this card set. So we've got, now this is a gold thing that coordinates with the envelope, which is very nice. And let's see, what do we have here? Here are places to stamp our sentiments. So we've got circles, and I'd like to say this is a square, but it's a parallelogram. So, because it's not a square, it's not 90-degree angles. And you get 4 of each, which is really nice. That's either great for if you make a mistake, or if you want to, you'll have extra pieces to make more cards. So always nice. I have a little collection of extra places to stamp sentiments. So I can throw that out. And here's the remaining card. And it's just a whole bunch of gold, if you can see. It's kind of shiny. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I'm going to put set those aside up here to get ready for stamping. And those came out nicely. Don't you just love these laser cut pieces? So delicate, but so beautiful. I do like some negative space, if that's what you want to call this. Okay, easy does it. And here's a flower. Okay, so that was 2 at a time. This is kind of good if you press downward and pull up. You seem to have less, it's a little bit faster, you seem to have less of a chance of ripping things. Okay, so I'm going to put those up here, and here are some more flowers. These are pretty. That's a big one. It's going to fill up a card. And then we've got some leaves. Whoops, I can't see who's holding on here. Yeah, you want to be careful with these, because you sure don't want to end up ripping something and then you get ticked off at yourself. Like I said, putting it down on the table and pulling up is a little bit better. Yeah. Easy to get caught up in there. Okay, that needs to. And pop these out. Isn't that a pretty teal color? That's probably, let's see, That's probably the pretty peacock. Thought I pushed those out already. There's still some little pieces that hold on. Okay. And then these guys. Wow, that just came out so much easier, pushing down. Okay, got all those pieces out. So the next thing I like to do is to sort and put things together. Okay, so this outlines Isn't that interesting? That outlines that. So that's going to go to, what am I doing here? That's going to go like that. That's going to be interesting putting on, isn't it? Like this. And then this, let's see, this goes on here. I kind of thought that was the case. So this is going to go on here just like that. But then we're going to be stamping some of the peacock things here. And then this will go on here. Like that. Whoops. Entanglement. These will have to get stamped, I think, before you put those on there. Okay, now this is also going to get stamps, and these are going to go on like this, and then the peacock will go on top of it. And the other thing that's going to go on it is, it looks like this is going to get popped up and go right here. So those are our 3 cards. So this is the 3rd card. Here's the 2nd card. I'm going to set those aside. And then we'll do this. So let's just put this away, fold it over so it's not confusing. And we're going to use this, which I think would be good. So whatever blocks you have to fit. I just happen to have a bunch of sizes from close to my heart. So, you know, the blocks, they also live forever. Let's see, we want the single leaf. Which works nicely on this small block. So I need that. And we have, let's see, to a wonderful friend, let's celebrate, thank you, happy birthday. So you could actually put to a wonderful friend on the outside and then add, if you want to make sure that you get these long skinny things straight, pick them up with your block. Then you have a better chance of them being straight across. And then you could add, let's celebrate you, happy birthday on the inside. So whatever, you know, whatever, but just to a wonderful friend could be for, once again, anything. Okay, so we're gonna, let's see, before we put this down, we're gonna stamp a couple of things. And it looks like we're gonna stamp these leaves. Well, I didn't wipe my stamp off first. I didn't think that was possible. I've run out of paper pads here. I need to go get a paper pad.
We are back to putting things together, and this part of the video is speeded up 250%. So it took me about an hour and 10 minutes to put all of these cards together. So I didn't want you to suffer through all of that, so that's why I'm speeding it up and overdubbing it. And so you see this card, first you put a layer of stamping down with the single leaf. And they're not a completed leaf, just like the picture itself, the image itself is kind of, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of watercolory looking and kind of, I don't know how to, just kind of, it's not hardcore color. It's just kind of spotty, just as the effect. And so these stamps are similar. So now this is the most tedious part, I believe, is putting these little double stick dots on the places where you can find a spot big enough to put the little dots. Now it's not a big deal because you can actually fold over the dots if they're on the outside of the leaf or flower. But you don't have a whole lot of places to pick from, mostly just the leaves. And so then lining this up is just kind of fun, as you can see, me trying to figure out just exactly how to put it. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So it's, you know, it's just not a big deal. And I am going ahead and stamping the sentiment. And it says, to a wonderful friend. So clearly this can be for some of any occasion, just depending on, you know, what's going on. Maybe it's a birthday, you know, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's hello, maybe it's just whatever. So that is going to go there. And then we've got these gold sequins that are not going to interfere in the mailing or rip up your envelope. And so the cards that get the sequins get 3 of them, like one big one and 2 little ones. One got out of control. It's kind of hard to see it on this one. So this is a good card if you wanted a speckled gold background. You could cut the back of it off and put it onto a 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. No, I'm lying. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size card. So like I said, this is the most tedious part because it's such a big piece that covers a good portion of the card, so you don't want it to get flipped up and bent, which it could. And so I'm going ahead and putting the leaves on again. And you're just going to have, a portion of it sticking out from underneath your overlay here. So I'm using my pick tool to take off the backings of the double stick. Also a little tedious, but, that's okay. We like tedious, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell whether you took the backing off or not. Okay, so I never quite nailed this. You just have to keep on twisting and turning until you can figure out just exactly where it goes. And I'm just keeping to a wonderful friend because that, can go for anything, and then I can put a more specific note or sentiment on the inside of it, depending on when I need it. So, once you get, all the little glue dots put on and then get the overlay oriented, then you've got it made. And I am going to go ahead and do all of the cards. That way I don't have to come back. I was going through my stuff every so often. I try to organize, and I do say try. When you've got so much, it's really hard to organize. But, I found a card kit from a long time ago that I did a couple of the cards, and then I didn't do them, right then and there. And guess what? They're still sitting in the plastic bag, and they've probably been in that plastic bag for 10 years. So I'm here to say, go ahead, get it done, and then you can store your ready-done cards in a large container so that when you need them, all you have to do is go to the container and pull one out. And I've got my container organized, to birthday cards, holiday cards, get well, thank you, or, sympathy. Always need a sympathy card sometime. And, so you're walking out the door, and all you have to do is pick out a card and you're on your way. But I think that plastic bag full of undone cards, who knows how many more years it's going to be sitting there. So now we're on to the second card. And this is going to use the double stick tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it here and there. It kind of tells you where to put it, suggestions of where to put it. And, like I said, if there's any overhang on these little things, it's not a big deal to overlap them because it's such super thin tape. Okay, so this is another one of the leaves that come with this kit. So I'm just trying to figure out where to put it according to because it has to go underneath. So I'm just trying to figure out just exactly, okay, if I put that there and then I put the thing and kind of give an eyeball and then just not move it, then I can kind of figure out where to put it. So I'm taking the backing off and getting ready to lay it down, and I already know that a stem is going to be sticking out in an area where I really don't want it to be sticking out. I didn't line up my thing just so. Needed to put a little bit more of an angle on it. But I'm going to take this piece that does act as another overlay, and I am going to arrange it to cover up that stem that is showing its face and doesn't need to be. So, but see, I'm lucky I get another chance. Ta-da, all better. So now we're going to put the sentiment on. And they have a sentiment that is just perfectly fit for the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my 2x2 block, and it says, "Miss you." And I'm just going to put one big dimensional on the back of that. You can put two if you want, but it's a pretty big dimensional and kind of takes care of it. So then they have suggested areas to where to put your little sequins, and there you go. So this one's a little bit, not quite so many double stick dots to put on the leaves as that big overlay. And this is a nice card. If you kind of an overlay, kind of go overboard, you can always turn it over and cut it out. No big deal. All fixed. Okay, so we're going to try this again and try to get it right. So I want to get the right angle on this and then move the top piece out of the way. So little, not a big challenge, just a little, very, very doable, trying to figure out exactly where to put your stamp underneath. And it makes a big difference too, having that stamp. It really adds something to it. And see, I don't have to worry about where I place this because I don't have to cover up any stem that's sticking out, any stamping boo-boo, which I've been known to have many of them. So there's always a way of figuring out how to make it work. So don't ever worry and feel like you've just really messed up. You can always fix it somehow. Many have said that's what embellishments are for. And then we just have a little bit of a sparkle on top of the printed pieces. Okay, so here we go once again. And you don't have to make all of the same cards. It's just that, I like getting a kit and I like putting it together. Sometimes I like to change things up a little bit, but a lot of times I don't. And, I've gotten 4 months behind on card kits for whatever reason. So I just I don't really have the time to play and figure out what I want to do different. And if I don't get them out of the way, they're going to sit in boxes. And I personally am uncomfortable. It makes me feel bad when there's things that are sitting around in boxes or bags that are undone. So I would just as soon get them completed. So here we're going to put some more dots on. Now, I guess if you wanted to, it would be less tedious, I think, is to just put a little spot of glue, a little tiny spot of glue on the back and then put them on there. But you don't want to put too much because you don't want the glue squishing out. and showing little shiny spots on the face of the card. So that's the good thing about glue dots as opposed to glue. So now I'm going to do something, going to go all out here. Okay, so there's the first generation. There's the second generation of stamping. Okay, so, and I'm going to put my sentiment on top of it. So you have no, it doesn't interfere with reading the sentiment, but it just adds a little something to the, to the I mean, it just adds a little bit of interest. So, easy peasy. Now, if you like the way that looks, then you can do this again. Just don't mess up and put this first generation down. So you can put a second generation down. So now I think I'm done. So I start putting things away. I haven't started on the third kit yet, but I think all the dots seemed like it was taking time, and I just thought I was finished. Yeah, well, then I look around, I looked right next to me, and it's like, oh, look, there's a whole stack of cards there. Of course, I am putting some of these things back that needed to go back anyway, so not a big deal. Using my microfiber cloth to clean off the stamps. Yeah, I'm doing so good, right? I will cut that down and use that bag. That's good enough to put the stamp in. I think that's going to fit nicely. So I'm getting all these things, and I think I'm going to be putting my 3 cards out. And then I think, oh, look, there's a whole bunch of sentiment boxes there that haven't been stamped. It's like, okay, here we go. Okay, now for card 3. So, and here are the little diamonds that we're going to put the next sentiment on, which is let's celebrate you. Now that can be for anything. Doesn't have to be a birthday. It could be a lot of things. So, but I do like that diamond. That just adds a little something to it. Okay, so here we've got this little piece, and they suggest using the tape to hold that piece down. Now, the last card I do, I decide, that would look really nice if it was popped up with the dimensionals. And these happen to be really thick dimensionals, and the last card, like I said, I do that. And I do like the way it looks, but if you have some dimensionals that are not quite as thick as the ones that come in the kit, then you could use those too. But they just say to use the tape, except now I need to stamp. So there's one more stamp that we haven't used. And I am going to go ahead and ink it up and see how it looks. So one is going to go down in this corner, and the other one is going to go in the upper corner. So just like that. And then these are going to go right over it. And then we've got the peacock piece that's going right in there. So then you put a dimensional on the little flower, and you let it sit right there. You put the other dimensionals on your 4 corners. And it's going to go right in there, and then the little flower goes right on top of it. So it's a nice little card. It actually looks better in person than it doesn't look like, a whole lot. It's kind of pale looking here, but in person it came out looking really nice. I like surprisingly nice for having, that dimensional pattern or a kind of geometric pattern. But I really like that geometric thing. I didn't think about lining up the diamond pattern to go along with that either. That probably would have been a smart idea. Okay, so here we go. And I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping on there. Just add a couple of those leaves. Now, I'll tell you, I didn't realize, so this did take me longer to do, and I ran out of space on my little card and had to unload all the videos onto my computer and come back and do the last card. So just as a kind of a heads up. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put that piece down and our peacock piece, and then we've got our diamond piece. With the little added embellishment of the leaves right there. So now I'm going to do the full diamond. I'm going to restamp it, use the last one and do the second generation there, and then come back and do the Let's Celebrate You. You could even do a third generation if you wanted to. Now, I wish I realized when I was putting this together that it would be nice to line up the diamond in the diamond pattern. I just didn't even, until I'm looking at this now, I realized that I should have lined up the diamond pattern in the diamond that's on the front of the card, if you see what I'm talking about, in between all the lines there. I really didn't see that. I didn't notice that. Funny, you think you're catching everything while you're doing stuff, but you see it afterwards. It's funny looking at these videos. It's like, oh man, that's what I should have done. So I'm putting all these on. Let's see how I do this one. This feels like a whole lot of dots, you know? But I guess that overlay was still more than all of this. Put my piece down there. I did much better with this one. There we go. See, and I did pop up that back piece. Okay, I did better with that. And, chances are nobody would notice except me. But it's like, doggone, why didn't I see that? Anyway, if you haven't done this set yet, then you can you can take a warning from me here. Okay, here we go. Now I can put things away. Now I can put the instructions back in the trash. You can keep those instructions if you want for, more ideas at a later time. And now I've got all my cards. I'm just putting the three designs out there. There we go. I hoped you liked this. I like these cards. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you and hope you've subscribed to my channel. Thanks a lot. Bye now. I think this is still available, by the way. Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking. Thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe and learn along with me. Thank you. Bye-bye.